Dear learner, I welcome you all to the MOOC on the renewable energy technologies and their uses. I am Dr. Sanjay Agrawal, Associate Professor in Electrical Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. In this session, we will discuss heat transfer characteristic of surface, radiative properties of the real surface, concept of the solar radiation, and we will also discuss Stephen-Boltzmann law, Kirchhoff's law of the solar radiation. As you know, all the solar energy devices depend upon the electromagnetic radiation continuously being emitted from the sun and striking the earth's surface. These are the short wave radiation. When solar radiation strikes the earth's surface, it gets absorbed and is re-emitted as long wave thermal radiation. Thus, thermal radiation are a form of energy emission and depend solely on the temperature and the characteristic of the emitting surface. The various forms of the radiation differ only in wavelength. If you study the spectrum of the electromagnetic waves, the range of the wavelength of thermal radiation is theoretically from 0 meter to infinity. A large part of thermal radiation has wavelength in the range from 0.1 micrometer to 100 micrometer. The visible portion of thermal radiation range from approximately 0.4 micrometer to 0.7 micrometer. As solar radiation passes through the atmosphere, some of it is absorbed, some is scattered, and rest is reflected by air molecules, water vapor, cloud, dust, pollutant, forest fires, volcanoes. The radiation reaching the Earth's surface is called diffuse solar radiation, or you can say simply diffuse radiation. The solar radiation which reaches the Earth's surface without being diffused is called direct solar radiation, or you can say simply direct insolation. The sum of diffuse and direct radiation is called global insolation. Atmospheric condition can reduce direct insolation by about 10% on clear, dry days and by 100% on thick, cloudy days. The surface of sun has an effective temperature of approximately 5760 degree Kelvin and emits most of its energy between 0. micrometer and 3 micrometer. Now we will discuss heat transfer characteristic of surface. Thermal radiations are electromagnetic radiation and travel at the speed of light, which is equal to about 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in vacuum. The speed of thermal radiation is related to the wavelength and frequency by this equation. So this equation is what? C equal to delta nu, where C is what? C is a speed of light which is measured in meter per second, and lambda is wavelength of radiation, and unit of this lambda is meter, and nu is the frequency of radiation, and unit is 1 upon second. So the electromagnetic radiation have dual nature, behaving like waves and also like particles. As particles, electromagnetic waves are discrete quanta, which is called photons of the energy, which is denoted by capital E, and it's given by E is equal to h nu, where this E is equal to what? E is energy of a photon and which is measured in joules. And this h is a Planck constant, and value of this Planck constant is equal to 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, and nu is the frequency of radiation. So when a beam of thermal radiation is incident on the surface of a body, the following could happen. What could be happen? First is some of it may get reflected away from the surface. Second one is some of it may get absorbed by the body. And third is some of it may get transmitted through the body. So here you can see in the diagram also. So here you can see the surface where incident solar radiation is coming, and some of it is absorbed by the surface, some is being transmitted, and some of part is being reflected from the surface. The radiation characteristic of a surface are its ability to reflect, which is called reflectivity, its ability to absorb, which is called absorptivity, and its ability to transmit, which is called transmittivity. So these are defined as alpha. Alpha is what? Alpha is nothing, it is a reflectivity. So it can be said as fraction of radiation reflected by the surface. Now rho is a what? Rho is a absorptivity. So absorptivity is what? It is basically fraction of the radiation absorbed by the surface. And tau is what? Tau is a transmittivity, and it can be defined as fraction of radiation transmitted through the surface. So you can write alpha plus rho plus tau is equal to 1. That means absorptivity, transmittivity and reflectivity is equal to 1. So as you know, most of the solid objects are the opaque, hence you can say tau is equal to 0. If a body absorbs all the incoming radiation, such body is called black body, so we can say the value of tau is equal to 0 and value of rho is equal to 1. So what is the value of alpha? So alpha is equal to what? It is equal to 0. The radiation characteristic of surface depend not only on the surface properties but also on its wavelength and direction of the radiation. The emissive power which is denoted by E suffix B of a black body is expressed by the Stefan-Boltzmann law, which is defined as EB is equal to sigma T to the power 4, where this sigma is what? This sigma is nothing, it is Stefan-Boltzmann constant, and value of this sigma is what? It is equal to 5.67 into 10 to the power minus 8 watt per meter square Kelvin to the power 4. And this T is what? T is the temperature which is measured in degree Kelvin. Now we have to understand the next topic, that is radiative properties of the real surface. An ideal black body is a perfect absorber as well as perfect emitter of thermal radiation. All real surface emit less energy than corresponding black bodies. Now we have to understand what is the emissivity of the surface. So emissivity of the surface can be defined as the ratio of total emissive power of a real surface to the total emissive power of a black body is called the emissivity of the real surface. The emissivity of a surface is a function of the following parameter. So first one is what? Surface temperature, second one is wavelength of incident radiation, third one is direction of the incident radiation. The emissivity defined as the average value over the entire wavelength range in all direction. It is also called the total emissivity. Now we have to understand Kirchhoff's law of the radiation. The Kirchhoff's law of radiation states that monochromatic emissivity is equal to the monochromatic absorptivity for any surface when in thermal equilibrium with its surrounding. This may be expressed by this formula, where first part is the monochromatic emissivity at wavelength, that is delta, and temperature T, and second part is the monochromatic absorptivity at wavelength lambda and temperature T. So you will learn later in this course that solar energy absorbed by the solar collector is always in the process of losing the absorbed radiation to the environment by the radiation, conduction and convection. Now we have to see what are the advantages of the selective surfaces. The radiation losses from solar absorber can be reduced significantly when the receiving surface has selective radiation properties. Here you can see the properties of some selective surface. So this table is giving just as a glance the properties of some selective surface. So in the first column different materials are denoted, and second column you can see short wave, long wave, short wave absorptivity, and third is showing the long wave emissivity. So if you are considering the material like black nickel or nickel plated steel, so in case of short wave absorptivity is 0.95, and in case of long wave emissivity the value is 0.07. If material is black chrome or nickel plate steel, so value is 0.95, and long wave emissivity the value is 0.09. In case of third material, that is a black chrome or galvanized steel, the value for the short wave absorptivity is 0.95, and for long wave emissivity value is 0.16. If you are considering the another material, that is a black chrome on copper, the value is 0.95 for the short wave absorptivity and value is 0.14 for long wave emissivity. So in the following table, different materials are shown, like a black copper or copper oxide on nickel, copper oxide on aluminum, lead sulfide crystal on aluminum. So the value of the short wave absorptivity and value of the long wave emissivity are given in this table. You can see the following properties of the selective surface. First one is what? High absorptivity for radiation in the solar range of wavelength. Second property is what? Long emissivity for long wave thermal radiation. It is highly desirable to make use of selective surface in solar collector absorber to attain high solar energy absorption and at the same time to reduce radiation losses to the surroundings. Now we have to see solar radiation on a surface. So first of all, we have to understand what is the basic principle of solar radiation on a surface. Each location on Earth receives sunlight at least for a part of the year. The amount of solar radiation that reaches a particular spot on the Earth's surface depends on number of factors, and these factors are: first one is a geographic location, second one is a time of the day, third is a season, fourth one is a local landscape, and fifth one is local weather. The sun strikes the surface at different angle ranging from 0 degree or to 90 degree. So when it is 0 degree, 0 degree is when it is just above to the horizon, and 90 degree angle is directly overhead. When sun's rays are vertical, the earth's surface gets maximum energy possible. The more slanted the sun's rays are, the longer they travel through the atmosphere, becoming more scattered and diffused, reducing the amount of energy reaching the earth's surface. Earth revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit and is closer to the sun during a part of the year. When the sun is nearer the earth's surface receives a little more solar energy. Earth is nearer the sun when it is summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the northern hemisphere. The 23.5 degree tilt in the Earth's axis of rotation is also a significant factor in determining the amount of sunlight striking the Earth at particular location. The rotation of Earth around its own axis is responsible for hourly variation in sunlight. In the early morning and the late afternoon, the sun is low in the sky. Its rays travel longer through the atmosphere than at noon when the sun is at its highest point. On a clear day, the maximum amount of solar energy reaches a solar collector around the solar noon. Before we discuss solar radiation on a surface, let us talk about the nature of the solar radiation. The Earth receives two types of solar radiation called beam and diffuse radiation. So first of all, we have to understand what are the beam radiation or direct radiation. The radiation received by the Earth without any change in the direction is referred as beam radiation or direct radiation as shown in the figure. Now we have to see what is the diffuse radiation. The diffuse radiation is received by the Earth from all directions. The radiation may change their direction due to scattering from dust particles, clouds, etc. while passing through the atmosphere. Diffuse radiation do not have a unique direction. The diffuse radiation is shown in figure 1. Here you can see the concept of how beam and diffuse radiation are received by the surface is shown in figure 2. Diffuse component of solar radiation, which is shown by as B, is that portion which is reflected from cloud, the ground and nearby object. And direct component of solar radiation, which is shown by capital A, is the portion which falls onto a flat plate solar panel. Some of other terms used to discuss solar radiation are global radiation, which is also called solar insolation. So what is a global radiation or solar insolation? The total radiation is the sum of direct radiation and diffuse radiation and is called global radiation or simply insolation. Now we have to define insolation. So what is insolation? The total amount of solar radiation per unit area per day reaching a part of Earth is called insolation, which is a short form of incident solar radiation. Solar radiation is defined as amount of sunshine incident on the surface of the Earth per unit area per day. You can determine the size of the solar collector provided the value of the solar insolation is known. If the value of the solar insolation is less, the area of the collector will be large as compared to the case where solar insolation is high. Solar insolation is expressed in kilowatt hour per meter square per day. It is the amount of solar energy which falls on a square meter of the Earth's surface in a single day. So as you know, 1 kilowatt hour per meter square per day can be written as 3.6 megajoule per meter square per day, which is equal to 317.1 British unit per feet square per day. So 1 unit, that is 1 kilowatt hour, is equal to what? 3.6 megajoule, which is equal to 859.8 kilocalorie, which is equal to 3412 BTU. Now it is very familiar term that is called solar radiation, or you can say irradiance. Now we have to define irradiance. The rate at which radiation fall on a surface per unit area is called irradiance, and it is measured in watt per meter square. In solar energy engineering, we come across the term extraterrestrial solar radiation and terrestrial solar radiation. In order to understand these terms, let us consider terrestrial and extraterrestrial region as shown in figure. So here you can see the top one is sun and lower one is earth. So between sun and earth there is a three region. The top one is extraterrestrial region, which have oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, carbon monoxide and dust. And the middle one is a atmosphere, which is in between extraterrestrial region and terrestrial region. In terrestrial region there is a diffuse radiation and long wave radiation, which is shown here, and third part is that is earth. So here you can see how the diffuse radiation and long wave radiation occurs. Now we have to see what is the extraterrestrial solar radiation. You know that earth is inclined at an angle and revolve around the sun in an elliptical orbit. The orientation of the earth's orbit around the sun is such that earth-sun distance varies only by about 1.7%. The solar radiation outside earth is atmosphere is almost constant and is called solar constant. Now we have to define what is a solar constant. The radiation received per second by a surface of unit area held normal to the sun's rays at mean earth-sun distance outside the atmosphere is constant throughout the year. It is called solar constant, which is equal to 1367 watt per meter square. So the intensity of extraterrestrial radiation measured at a plane normal to the radiation is given by this formula, which is given by the Duffy and Beckman, which is equal to IEXT is equal to IEXT 1 plus 0.033 cos 360 n upon 365, where this I suffix EXT is what? It is extraterrestrial radiation, and ISC is a solar constant, and small n is the day of the year. So n equal to 1 for the January 1 and n is equal to 365 for December 31. So in today's session we discussed the following section, that is heat transfer characteristic of surface, radiative properties of the real surface. Then we discussed also the concept of the solar radiation. We discussed Stephan-Boltzmann law. Then we discussed Kirchhoff's law of the solar radiation. We have also understood what is the direct solar radiation, diffuse radiation, global solar radiation. In the next session, we will discuss how to estimate solar radiation on a horizontal surface and tilted surface. Thank you very much.